Let me just tell you, it was a lot to get everybody all together, but now that the gang's all here, let's get on with today's video. What's up everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Kat. I am so excited that you're here because today we're going to be doing something a little bit different on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about plants. Alright, I'm going to show you my plant collection. I want to share some things that I've learned from being a new plant mom. So if you're looking to expand your houseplant collection, or if you're looking to just get more tips on the plants you already have at home, I'm going to be sharing a ton of them. I'm going to be sharing everything I've learned so far, and this is just from a beginner, okay? So I am still learning along the way, and if you have any suggestions, I would love your input if you leave it down in the bottom bar below. Before we get started though, I'm sorry you guys, I'm being so rude right now. I haven't even introduced you to my plants. First we have our money tree plant, polka dot begonia, mama fiddle leaf, baby fiddle leaf, MONSTERA deliciosa, flamingo flower, also known as flamingo lily, our snake plant, a golden pothos, and last but not least, we have the Chinese money plant. This is a little baby one, a gift that I got, and it's been growing so fast. I'm so excited for it. Now that you are familiar with my plants a little bit, let's get on to the first thing that I've learned since becoming a new plant mom. So one of the first things I started doing before bringing each and every one of these plants into my home is I did my research. So I know that we all have a dream plant or a plant that we have our eye on that we know, yes, you are gonna be the next plant I bring into my home. So what I start doing is I start getting to know as much as I can about them before I go out and bring them into my home. So you're gonna wanna know things like how much sunlight does it need, how often do I need to water it, how often does this particular plant need to be fertilized, is this plant on the easier side to take care of or on the needier side. Every plant is so different and some are gonna require more of your time than others. So you're just gonna wanna be prepared. That way when you do bring them to your home, it's just gonna make your life so much easier and you're gonna already know how to take care of them because you did your research. Speaking of doing your research, the second thing I learned, well, it's not really something I learned, it's more of a hack that I discovered and I want to pass it on to you. So sometimes when you go out and get a plant, they don't really have any science to tell you what kind of plant it is, the name of it, or let's say you get gifted a plant. I've gotten a lot of plants gifted to me and I have no idea what they are, so how do I know how to take care of them? I'm gonna put you onto this app that I discovered. It's called Picture This, and this is how it works. You take a picture of the plant, right? So I like to take a picture of the plant's leaf and it shows you exactly what the name of the plant is. It also shows you things like its diagnosis, if there's burnt leaves on it or something else is wrong with it. It shows you how to care for it and how to bring it back to life. So that's just a little hack for you. I know it's gonna come in handy, especially when you're out there looking for plants or when you get plants as a gift. The third thing I've learned is that casualties with your plant is gonna happen, all right? We cannot be the perfect plant moms all the time. You know, just the other day I went to move my polka dot begonia and the leaf just snapped off. I was devastated, especially because this plant was giving me issues all throughout last year, and when I moved it to this corner right here, I really saw it blossom and I really saw it like grow finally. And then I go to move it, of course, because I felt like I needed more sunlight, and this happens. So if you end up knocking your plant over by accident and it messes up the leaf, or you move it like I did, or you leave it in the sun for too long and it gets burnt, just know that it's gonna be okay. And most of the times they just end up bouncing back, so we just have to be a little patient. Number 4 on my list of what I've learned is that you really want to make sure that you keep your plants in a well-drained pot. So it could be on the sides like the plastic ones, or you can have one that has a really big hole in the middle, and you want to make sure that the soil you're using has perlite mixed in. If it doesn't have perlite, you can definitely buy it separately and mix it together with your soil. Perlite, which looks like these tiny styrofoam balls, really help trap air to provide oxygen to your plant roots, and it really helps with drainage. Us new plant moms, we could definitely get overzealous sometimes when it comes to watering, but if you get a really well-drained pot, some perlite in it, you should be good to go. This brings me to number 5 on my list, which is only make sure that you water your plant when the soil is completely dry. All right, so you even want to put your finger in it sometimes. That will help, just so you can get a feeling. The problem with new plant moms, like I just said, we really care about our plants. All right, so sometimes we go a little overboard and we water it a little bit too much, and this can really backfire on us. And I've personally experienced this myself. I was overwatering my big fiddle leaf plant, and I noticed that it started rotting in some areas. The leaves were falling off. You don't want your plants to stay all week long in a really damp soil. This can rot your plants. It can make the leaves lose its pigment, and worst of all, it can really attract bugs. All right, so if this is something you're dealing with, or if you're afraid to bring more plants into your home because you're worried about the bugs, I'm going to show you some non-toxic ways of getting rid of bugs in your plants later on in the video. But for now, let's move on to the next thing I've learned, which is knowing when your plant needs a new home. Okay, when it needs to be transferred into a new pot. And you're probably thinking, okay, well, how would I know that? There are a couple ways. So if you've had a plant in the same pot for the last 2 years and its growth is become very noticeable, that means that it's time for repotting. All right, so take my snake plant for example. I got this plant about 2 years ago, and when I got it, it was this little tiny little thing, and it's grown so much over the last 2 years, which has made me realize that, okay, it is time for a new home. As you can see, when I took it out the pot, the roots were pretty much wrapped around the entire soil. If you can also see the roots poking out of the drainage hole, or if it looks like your plant is squeezed in and doesn't really have that much room, it's also time to repot your plant when you feel like there hasn't been enough drainage happening. If you see that your soil is a little damp. Remember how I said that I was worried that my fiddle leaf was rotting due to the overwatering? Well, I also noticed that the pot it was in wasn't draining as quickly as it should have been, so I decided to give it a new home with a pot that has a better drainage hole, and I added some perlite to ensure that my fiddle wasn't going to be sitting in that damp soil for days after I water it. Number 7 on my list is definitely something that I'm still working on and I'm getting better at, and that is to let go of the damaged leaves that are already on your plant. In a way, I know that we feel like they are going to bounce back, they're going to heal themselves, but you know what? Keeping them on there can really damage the rest of the plant. Just like when you leave rotten fruits and vegetables next to that fresh produce, it can really end up spoiling it so much quicker. So we really want to make sure that we let go of that dead weight so that new and stronger leaves can emerge from that. I just removed some leaves off my Monstera when I repotted it the other day, and although it doesn't look as full, it looks so much healthier. You can definitely see an improvement. I told you I was coming back to this, and that is how to keep bugs away from your plants. This is definitely something that I've recently learned how to control because I've never dealt with this before. Most of my plants has never really attracted that many bugs. I know this may sound weird, but I didn't really know that this was a huge issue until I got my Chinese money plant. So this little bitty thing has been attracting this flying like bug. I think it's called a gnat or something, and it's just been pissing me off so much to the point where I'm scared that my other plants are going to start attracting bugs too. Remember, these bugs are really attracted to these moist soils, and I feel like I've been watering this plant a little bit too much. Remember, this is another reason why you want to make sure that you keep your plants in a well-drained pot. I'm going to show you 2 non-toxic options that I use for getting rid of these bugs. The first one is this food grade powder. Honestly, I don't really know how to pronounce this word, but I sprinkle it on top of the soil. It is really powerful. It's non-toxic, like I said, and it really helps getting rid of bugs all around your house and in your plants. I first discovered this when my dog had really bad fleas, and this really worked so well to get rid of them. The only problem with this is that it can get a little messy. It doesn't really look that nice. It's all this white powder and is not as effective in getting rid of bugs when it's wet. So I hit Google and I found that using organic soapy water works just as well. I recently picked up this soap. How I use it is I dilute it with some water and just add a little bit to my plants. It doesn't harm the plants, and it's a good non-toxic way to keep your plants free of bugs. And just so you know, both of these tips, they don't affect your plant and they don't affect you as well. Number 9 on my list is just fine-tuning the right amount of sunlight for your plant. So there have been many times where I have burned my plant because I've been giving it too much sun, or there have been times where I've seen my plants not doing that well because it lacks sunlight. It really does depend on your particular type of plant, which is why I'm gonna refer back to the tip number 1, which is research your plant, because some plants are gonna require more sunlight than others. It's gonna take some time to find that right balance. Sometimes you just have to work with what you have. I know plants don't really like to be moved as much, but if you have to move them once a week just so they can get that good amount of sunlight, then that's what you have to do. Just make sure you do your research and figure out the best place for your plants before you bring them into your home. Number 10 on my list, and the last thing that I've learned so far from being a new plant mom, is that, this is time consuming, okay? I said it takes a lot of time, which is why I have so much respect for people that dedicate time to their garden, to their plants. This life is no joke. However, it is worth it. If you're a plant lover like me, you're definitely gonna be fulfilled with taking care of plants, watching them grow. It's just a feeling that really fills my heart, but it takes a lot of time, all right? The other day, I repotted 5 plants and it took me hours. And when I tell you that the next day I woke up with my knees hurting, my back hurting, I'm not kidding. I was so sore, but I enjoyed every minute of it. It just brings me so much joy. So just prepare yourself if you're trying to expand your collection. Just know that every new plant is gonna take up even more of your time. With that being said, I wanna know, what plant do you have your eye on right now? Which plant can you not wait to bring into your home? Let me know in the comment section below. So for me, I have 2. I have the aloe vera plant, which I'm definitely bringing into my home very soon, and I have the corn plant. I think that's the name of it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna leave a picture right here. Oh, it is so beautiful. I cannot wait to get these 2 plants into my home. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna see you very soon.